think it's like 27.8.
Oh,
But if you look, there's like so it's very humid. It's gonna rain, you know.
oh, okay. Is it full summer there then? Is it's gonna get hotter and hotter a bit?
Yeah,
Oh man.
not my type of country, bro.
How's it? How's it going in there? You've been there for 3 days now?
Um, since Tuesday. So what's today? Friday, yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Four
And
days.
4 days, excellent. And
Amazing, amazing. I'm hurting all over. We're doing a lot of training.
I saw the
Um,
video earlier of you hurting him as well. He was complaining about some stomach pains or something. What have you done to him, man?
I wrote it wasn't me.
It's
He
all,
ran onto a few jabs or crosses. Well,
oh,
it's pad work, isn't it? You can't do pads with not hitting your opponent back.
of
I'm
course.
a bit, when someone says I do 20 rounds of pad work and you're unmarked, no way. Or
Mm.
like, no, you
And
need to hit them back. I
this,
like it real, really. Everything real. Same, because when you think of training, if it's not real, whatever you do, if the skipping is not different paces, one leg, other leg, knee raise, skipping, for example, switching the legs, move left, move right, like in a fight, it's rubbish.
so would you say
Course,
that you do all your training stimulating the fight? So everything you do, bag work, pad work, skipping, footwork.
as real as possible. Even
Mm.
when they do pads in a gym. Okay, sometimes we drill the combos like just pure, let's say jab, cross, low kick, and just go on my count, boom, one, two. So they sometimes when you let people to themselves, they all start adding their own thing, which
Mm.
I always say, whenever you open your own gym, you can do however you want.
Mhm.
Whilst you're here, don't add shit. I
Yeah.
didn't tell you, so it's quite annoying, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to teach them one thing, all of a sudden, someone ducked down a little bit, the other guy's elbowing or some stupid,
Yeah.
no.
I
And
mean,
also from a health and safety aspect, like don't get injured stupidly, isn't it? You probably know yourself, you're a fighter. Most silly injuries were from nothing, just like some silly little tap and they blocked wrong and boom, you
yeah.
know.
I mean, that was one of the things that I got injured with the most. You know, sometimes you spar with beginners and they don't know where to land and how to block, and that's where the most of my injuries really came from.
Yeah, but that's more real than yeah, good fighter will know where to kick you.
Mhm.
But like another thing, I always tell all my lot, never talk about your injuries to anyone.
Okay.
Before you know it, people kick that same leg, your knee that was injured. How the heck does he know? Yeah,
Yeah.
keep on talking. Why are you telling everyone that you have an injury? I don't get it.
And this is what we spoke
It's like,
about.
it's
So
like giving it's like giving your enemy away your position.
yeah,
Retard.
this is what we spoke about when I saw you on the weekend. You said that I said that I've heard from many people that your training is very old school, and I'm quite interested in asking you a few questions about that because, as you know, I've started coaching properly in the last 3 years. I've
Yeah.
been fighting for almost 20 years now, but I've only just started coaching properly at this level for the last 3 years. So for me, it'll be really nice to pick your brain a little bit and maybe take this opportunity to learn a lot from you because obviously you've been in the game for so long, and you've been training some top level athletes. And I want to get into that as well. But before that, Amir, and we all know who Amir is. Everybody knows you in the fight game. Everybody knows who Amir is in the kickboxing, but we don't really know who Amir is. You know what I mean? We don't know. Like I'm interested in knowing your story. So I think what would be really nice for me to hear is if you just tell us a little bit about your background, your a little bit about your life in Bosnia, when you came to the UK, and just your kickboxing journey so far.
Well, Amir, in short, really. I might also say you're doing a good job considering it's 3 years.
Thank you.
Already making a name for yourself. Your fighters look very schooled, which is nice to see. It's not that often, like, from in a way, everyone has different systems.
Yeah.
Someone might train 2 years before they fight.
Yeah.
Like, with my lot, kind of like, nah, straight away, get in there and get honed in the fire, as they say. Well, obviously, I was born in Bosnia, former Yugoslavia. Grew up in Germany. I went there with maybe a year or so.
Yeah.
Lived there 15, 16 years. Returned to then former Yugoslavia before the war.
Yeah.
Was in a Yugoslav military in special forces and in I was sniper. And then obviously the war started in our country. I was in the war there. never to be repeated again. Hopefully, I mean, there's still. I mean, actually, today is the anniversary of my father being killed. So
May Allah rest his
uh,
soul.
I mean, yeah. So it's 1992, 2nd of June, and not just my dad. So many of my obviously people. So yeah, after that, I came 1999 to the UK in February.
You went straight to Luton because that's where your gym is, right?
Yeah, I always was in Luton, and um, everyone knows I like Luton. I really hate the bad press it always gets.
Yeah.
There's crap everywhere. I mean, even we travel around the UK, and you see way worse places than Luton, and I do think it gets a little bit too much stick because of the Muslim community there. And
Yeah.
then obviously you have also the other, you had what was the problems with the EDL and so on, and which again is small fractions. And then the worst town, the worst. It got a bit worse for some stuff. There's too many beggars and druggies around, and especially I live on Bellington Street, so it's like
I mean, there's that in every city.
horrible. We just see them up and down. Pardon?
So you see bad places in every city, really. Like there's always going to be some
Oh
bad.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I just don't like any of the bullshit. Like, what? I mean, who decided? Let me see that person. What
Yeah.
did you ever come to Luton? The
Mm.
people are amazing. Anywhere you go, even now, you can just knock in the worst place on someone's door and say, "Really sorry, my car stopped. I have no food, or can you give me some?" Everyone's gonna help you. It's all bullshit. It's like that whole thing with just like paint someone one way and then everyone jumps on the bandwagon and believes it, It's rubbish. We got the airport there. It's expanding massively. Why do then half of the London people live there and buy properties? The properties are up by so much. New properties are like, I mean, screw mushrooms, as they say after rain. It's non-stop, bro. It's crazy. So for someone to say, they're trying hard, it's not easy. It is multicultural. It is what Britain is. Britain isn't white, brown, black. If I always say, if the British Empire retreated all the people that were in service of the British Crown and the people, I think it would be tens of millions.
Yes.
They rule the world. So you have some of those people here, and they work.
They
Everyone is
contribute a lot to
contributing.
yeah, everyone's
Everyone does.
contributing.
Look, the rich want you to believe that what is it? 1.5 billion of people that claim benefits. Yeah, of course, you can't have a woman alone on the street with children. What are you talking about? Or even some guy that really can't work. Most people work. There's not that many. How about so there's 1.5 billion, let's say they cost the taxpayers. What about the billions you steal and cost the taxpayers?
I
So
mean,
it's a bit like, oh, look at them, so you don't look at us. We know that anyway with all this crap was going
of
on. So yeah, I came 99 in February. I I started training with Jim McIver in Luton, Trinity Kickboxing. He always liked it a little bit like quieter classes. So I used to demonstrate a little bit, blah, blah. And I used to go to train with in London with Winston Fraser,
and this
then
is that
Sniper
what
Jim.
you started doing kickboxing when you first moved to the UK, or did you train when you were in Bosnia?
Winston taught Thai boxing. Oh, no, I trained, of course, back home as well, kickboxing, yeah. It
Yeah.
was mainly in whole of Europe, East Europe is mainly like low kick, full contact kickboxing. K1 came way later, obviously. Probably it's still more like the M1 style, the fried, rules, MMA. It's
Mhm.
very strong. Boxing is very strong. To be honest, all martial arts. In our countries, the gyms are called Club of Martial Arts, and then
Right,
you have a subsection, whatever you want to specialize in. But
right.
you don't have well, you do now, but before you didn't have like a pure. Obviously, karate was karate. There's a federation. It's way more uniform. You can't like you. Let's say you open your gym, no one asks you for anything. It was impossible. You could not. Has to be three black belts. They all have to be registered. You have to have an account, a general secretary, deputy director, the whole lot. It was way more. That's why I was surprised, like in the UK, how
Easy.
wild it is.
This is why you get so many gyms that are just
No
non
one,
dojos.
yeah, no one asks you anything. You just open and do what you want. Like how. Anyway, yeah. So that's it. And then people started coming. It was in the old drill hole on Old Bedford Road. And he said, "Oh, it's too many people for me. I don't like this." So he gave me a section of his. I think first class was like 23 people, and then
That's good.
then I announced my own bit, and I think it was 170 something. So anyone who lives in Luton from the old days, there's next to no one I didn't train more or less, or they didn't come down training. And normally, as I say, if I don't remember the ugly face, they didn't train enough. Yeah, it's like a system. The more you come, the more better looking you are. Yeah,
Of course. Yes.
and yeah, I like to joke. And going back to when you said who is Amir, I'm 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 very passionate about what I do. When I do it, I take it very serious. So there's not much. Everyone will tell you not much. I do jokes and stuff and mess around, but when it's work, it's work. I hate oh people coming in putting the hundreds on without being warming up. I didn't even tell you that. Start running, mate. You just missed 10 minutes of running. And some are so good at drugging it out and talking to others. And
Yeah.
or like, let's say you and I come to training, your partners, and then we talk about UFC. Like, who cares, huh?
Do that
Or
outside.
boxing. Really? You're not even a boxer or MMA fighter. Why the heck are you talking about UFC and boxing? I don't get it. Like, aren't you there to train? So, yeah, I like what I do. I like to say that I'm very helpful and I like the sport. Um, I remember when I came here as well, it was the rankings and it was very difficult in the Fighters magazine, only the ISK rankings. And then there was an independent one with Carl Sams and Colin Payne. And they always were going, "Oh, it's so hard to do," and it is hard. And then they stopped it. And I thought, "Oh, let me do it." And, it's something I always followed and something I like.
Because
So,
you basically now do
yeah,
the independent rankings. You have your own gym. You've trained high level, top level world champions. You
yeah.
continue to do top level world champions. When I see your classes are always incredibly full. So I'm kind of amazed with what your work rate must be. Your work ethic must be so crazy to try and keep up with all that. Not to mention you also run Super Fight Series, which I could only imagine how stressful it is being a promoter of such a big, respected, well run show.
Yeah, with SFS, it's Paul Palchich, my best friend, and me,
Yeah.
my brother from another mother. We actually have some ties because he's Balkan as well. From his grand was from Croatia. So Palchich means a thumb, yeah, in our country.
Yes.
But yeah, so we're very good at it. He does his bit, I do my bit. I mean, for this show, even I just don't. I do think sooner or later we do have to address pullouts in a way, like officially, publicly, with everyone involved. But as we know, the UK, as I call it, is castle to castle mentality. No one cares what's happening in Luton. You don't care what's happening in London. I don't care what's happening in Sheffield, for example, and so on and so on. So everyone is first in the village. No one wants to be second in town. Uh, non-existing in the city, no one in the world. And the way I look at it, I want to be first in the universe.
Right.
So, and I try always to rise above it. I mean, I had 19 fights canceled for this show. We still have over 30 fights, but it's just stupid, Don't put your name. And like, I matched you 4 months ago. I already matched 15 fights for November, 17 for September show.
Do you think that you get a
So
lot
we're
of
not
fighters?
waiting.
Sorry, do you think you get a lot of fighters who put their name down on regular basis but then pull out? It might just be that they love the idea of fighting in the first instance. They like to be on a poster. They like to sound like they're fighting, but when it actually comes down to fight night, they bottle it. They don't want to be there.
I once read somewhere or heard it. It's a very romantic idea of being a warrior,
Very
but
true.
doing the warrior stuff
Hard.
is the brutal reality. So we all like to, I guess, to be honest, there's genuine injuries, family stuff happens, so it's not a problem. For me, I can't spend too much time on it. Yeah, I have to find a replacement. It's not fair for you now not to have an opponent, and so on and so on. And then also, let's say I find 6 opponents for fighters, none of them are good enough. Yet, if I find you someone with less opponents, yeah, we take it. I think coaches as well, a lot of them trying to match. I don't care if all my lots lose all the time, but they'll be fighting proper people. You fight the UK number 1 and you lose against them, you're number 2. because number two, the old number 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all shitting themselves, more or less, you know,
Yes.
or are avoiding, or no, I'm busy then, or I'm signed to Glory. That's the latest one in the UK. Everyone is signed to some federation, so they're not allowed to fight, apparently, and
Yeah.
so on. And then you see them fighting on some local show. So, no.
It depends who you find
And
them.
then yeah, it's really difficult one to like, and I find it is very like sticky negativity. Just leave it.
Yeah.
It's like arguing with a fool. You're the bigger fool, then just
Yeah.
leave it.
We don't want to
I
mention.
can't solve all the problems. If I can't solve the problem, I go. I try to solve it. If I can't, I go around it, through it, above it, underneath it, whatever. Just or I leave it, and that's it. Once I tried my options, boom, boom, boom. Thank you. Goodbye. And we work with very good gyms. I mean, I
But
like
that's
to
one thing
think
I
that.
was gonna ask you, Amir. We don't want to mention the ones that keep pulling out because we don't really want to put them on a spot, unless of course you want to. But is there any gyms that you work with and they make your job easy on continuous basis? There must be some gyms that are
But
really professional.
from the first shows, I mean, look, from the Wembley show,
Yeah.
we worked with all the gyms. To be honest, you know, like Backstreet Dojo, Tony Newman always at our back.
Yeah.
Matt Cook, Northside, same, you know. I mean, look, we worked with all the gyms really, like bloody hell. Obviously, my gym, you know, I got always like about anything between 6 to 10 fighters on,
Yeah.
of more. Lately, we got obviously. Then we had Valhalla, obviously, you know, bless him, till Leighton passed, God bless his soul. So Lee and Dean down there. Obviously, everyone was there. I mean, so many now, obviously, with it. Colin Payne. I mean, no, there's no gym nearly. Team Tui, Nosy, Tigers, Double K. I can mention so many of them. If I knew, I would have brought my laptop with me. It's
There was
literally,
a
it's a huge list.
there was
Warrior
a,
Gym. Then you got obviously, I call them Warrior Muay with Darren James. So, look, I try to involve everyone. I also try to explain to everyone. Um, like we look after our own, and it's something I use a lot when I write. Everyone knows. It's a bit like, let's say, if you're WBC boxing and you go up in the WBC rankings, you fight for the titles. Yeah, they don't just get a random person out of nowhere to fight for the WBC world title because he didn't deserve it. On Super Fight Series, you deserved it, or you will have the first chance because your gym and your fighters fight on Super Fight Series. And I'm not spending, or Paul and I, literally, the world title bet's about 500-600 pounds. It's beautiful. The new one.
very
For
nice.
just someone random to win it. Yeah, we invested a lot of everything, you know, and we tried, look, each show is different. We did the 5-man, 5 versus 5, all the Dutch, Holland versus UK. The kids love it. Another aspect I like to touch really is we give the youngsters the same treatment like the pros, and we treat them like the pros. They get the same title. It's bigger than, I mean, if you, what's the name, little Jaden.
I saw
Is
that.
it Jaden? Jay Sean, little Jay Sean from KO South. Yeah, them as well, KO. And the title is like this, and this, he's only like more or less. But how beautiful is that? Now, you know, so what is he growing up? He's in the same changing room like some top elite amateurs or some pros. And, you know, kids are amazing. My kids, after every fight, they come up with, or you see them on the pads, they're doing some combos. I didn't teach them that, you know, and I'm like, wow, beautiful. And this is what's all about. So the so-called the ripple effect, yeah. What I like my legacy to be is like, yeah, he was a great man. He was always there for everyone. He always helped. Some of my family and closer friends, if I don't reply straight away, you okay? What's happening? Because I'm non-stop, literally, and I do like it like that as well. And whatever I can do now, it's done now, not tomorrow, not later, not whatever. You know, it's done. Because trust me, you accumulate it tomorrow. Now, obviously, with all this stuff with Andrew, I got hundreds of requests every day. Everything.
Must be overwhelming.
Oh, please, just a 10-15 video. So Tate says, let's say, oh, Yusuf is a great coach. I mean, sorry, guys, but
You can't be
he
good.
literally, I mean, yesterday he had the BBC here. You probably saw it.
That's it.
that woman was so rude and so disrespectful. And as a British person now, I felt really bad that someone represents the BBC like that. She was so vile. I couldn't even believe it. It was not to even say goodbye. Look, you're a journalist. You know, do your job properly
Yeah,
and be a professional. You know, like you and I, we are in a similar. You know, we sometimes we have to shake hands with people maybe we don't want to, or you have to sometimes bite your tongue. And but I always look for the bigger picture.
yes.
And so, yeah, my inbox is always full, and I'm trying to literally do it, or it just keeps on repeating, you know, and stuff. So
But
if
one
I
thing
don't
I wanted
reply to
to
anything
ask you,
today,
I wanted to ask you, Amir, because like I know obviously with everything that's going on with Andrew and Tristan, you must be overwhelmed with all the messages you get and all the requests and everything that you get. So I didn't want to make this interview being focused about that because I know on your day-to-day life you must be dealing with that all the time. So I don't want that to be about this. But
yes,
one thing
I
that I
actually,
really
there's one good thing. Sorry for interrupting. There's one good thing really coming out of it. I have a lot of, I don't know, let's say 14, 15, 18-year-olds, 20 something. Oh, top G's coach. What should I train? Where should I go? So I give them advice. Look, go to 3, 4 gyms, see
yeah,
where it suits you the most, see where they're best for you. You know, sometimes you go, maybe I come to your gym, I just doesn't. I always say everyone goes, oh, in Luton there's so many gyms. I say great, because one person has one person off the streets, one kid is one kid possibly less in crime and one kid less stabbed. And when it touches later, if we can, the
yeah,
amount of good martial arts do in general, not just boxing, martial arts gym especially, way more than I don't want to say like boxing, but we don't get no recognition for it. You know,
yeah,
like we sat in a council meeting with they have no clue what's going on. You got charities getting so much money for 4 or 5 children. We got each probably 30, 40, 50 of them in a class
they
of
can
the same type.
actually
You know, no parents abused, alcoholic, whatever. You know, like, and we just keep on working, you know, because we love the job. And I always, whenever I do the interviews, I want to salute all the fellow coaches and keep up the great work, because look, when you have second, third, and fourth generation bring you their kid, you know you did your job well. So you don't need no approval from anyone. And a fair play. You know, I love the whole Luton, the Buzz. You got lots of gyms. There's lots of champions. Everyone's working hard. You know, you got so many gyms there, literally from different. And yeah, fair play. And so going back to the Tate thing, it's really good because they asked me for advice. You know, so yeah, okay. I got one guy in Ukraine. It's war, and he started 100 press. I said, of course, I'm fit, blah, blah. What can I do? I can't go out. And he was showing me a clip where they literally, they're bombing. I'm like, bloody hell, and he's in a high rise. So, but that's reality. I've been there, you know. I had kids walk from like one part of Sheffield to the other to train with me while the Sheffield was bombed, you know what I mean,
yeah, of
in
course.
war. And they still came training, some fainting in classes because they have no food at home and stuff like that. You know, now they look for so many excuses not to come. Oh, I'm going to give it a rest. So all my fighters will know, when you say you're going to rest tomorrow, are you already resting from 7:30 tonight till tomorrow 7:30? That's 24 hours. And then you're going to come the day after, that's 48 hours. Don't say you're resting a day, you're resting 2 days. And
True.
still in their head, sometimes they don't get it. Like, oh, no, no, no. And then they come up with some stupid excuse. Oh, I got something to do. Or it's bullshit, you know?
It's
So,
not, it's not the same as it used to be. The one thing, Amir, I wanted to ask you because, like I said, I don't want to make this. I wanted this interview to be about you, to get to know you and who you are.
yeah,
One thing that I was really interested in is obviously with all the things that's been happening with Andrew and Tristan, and I know what it feels like to have a fighter and someone that you've trained for many years, and you basically build a bond with them that goes beyond just being a coach and a
yeah,
fighter. Obviously, become family, and I know I've seen in interviews that Andrew has mentioned you, and he said that you're basically like his father. Was it?
yeah.
How did you deal with the past few months with all the craziness that was happening mentally? Did that affect you? How did you deal with it?
I, not really. I generally don't watch TV anyway. It's all just a lot of bullshit.
Yeah,
And it's the same kind of like you can just repeat Tate's words, it's just brainwashing on mass scale.
yeah.
They all have the same news.
We can pick it.
It's it's uh it's um it's more frustrating as a man to be restricted. Like, and he's lucky he's in a. They said there's one guy from he was with them. He's on house arrest, similar like them, and a Romanian guy, but his family only has a one bed flat, so it's all of them in there. Think about that. And then they come every 3 hours, like mental torture, to check. So they have to get up every 3 hours and sign. Two police officers come. Don't blame the police officers, how it is, but like really, like what? You have nothing, nothing. Does he need to rape anyone? Really? Does he need to like a human trafficking? You know how serious. We all watched. Did you watch Taken?
Yeah, of
With
course.
Liam Neeson.
Yes.
That's type of people that do bloody whatever I call it. I don't get it. You know, like how
Well,
and all this. Then
everyone that I've ever spoken
obviously,
to, on Andrew, on a personal level,
yes,
they get puzzled by these crazy claims because they
but
know
they are over. I think yesterday he told in an interview that there was 12,000 people they contacted, or 2,000, I think. 2,000 of his exes, of his other people. I mean, I get non-stop, you know, like nice, all of them writing to me, even coming to my house, putting letters from a box to call them to, they just want to have a genuine interview. And you know how I'm totally not interested in talking to any media. They show the true face, and shame on them, you know, shame on them. And there's no, look, I don't even go into all of that. You're protecting all the pedophiles. Screw you, literally. Fuck off, everyone. Like, you know, then you're trying here to push it on someone. How convenient, for what? How about let's rally them all up then, you know? It's stupid. Like, anyway, it borders on stupidity. And then the worst thing is that actually people believe all of that. There's so many that believe it. And as you said, everyone who knew Andrew, there's no one. They asked all the people that he knows, but no one said anything bad.
Yeah,
No
well, the
one.
little clip that I saw from the interview, he was trying to ask the interviewer, who's this person? Like, who is this actual person? It doesn't exist. Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad that he's back home at least now. He's out of that place, and it seems like, you know, with this mentality, it seems like he's always going to be okay.
Yeah, they had worse, no money to go out, no money to eat, so sit at home. There's nothing they're not used to. You know, they're just used to walk to training,
Yeah.
train in the morning, PT, then walk, run in the evening, train, and run home. Or we go with cars or something, go eat, and that was it. So there is nothing like that. The problem is, you know, it's not just the normal people being a normal person being what's it called um, jailed. You're talking someone who comes from the bottom of the bottom, if that makes sense.
Yes, of
So what are
course.
you going to do to him? He was in home care, in shelters with his mom and with his brother, and there's all of that. There's nothing you can do
He's already
to
been
them.
bottom of the bottom. He could
Yeah,
survive.
but it's like it's stupid, you know. And then I don't really understand, you know. Like, okay, it's how the system works. It's fine, but surely after a while, after a while, you have to get something solid, isn't it?
Yes, but I
I
mean,
mean, the rape charge, the rape charge is already dropped. Obviously, it's like stupid and insufficient. Everything. There's nothing there, as he said. With this human trafficking, I don't even understand what. Then they're telling. One thing that got me is basically after I'm a witness, I give my statement, then they tell me how I'm brainwashed and get some psychologist to say that.
really,
What are you talking about? How I'm telling you,
as the
no.
witness, and the witness says that did not happen, but they still want to get
They
psychological
make
psychology.
a witness, they make him into a victim. It's dumb, isn't it?
That's crazy.
Anyway, it's all out there. So, you
Yeah,
know,
I
they're
mean,
confident. Also, they don't want to barge, you know, they didn't do anything wrong. So, like, nah, let's do whatever you need to do. But when all of this shit is done, I just told him, I hope you just sue their lives and actually every single one of them, everyone who was involved, and make them all public and this, and then they see how this, you know,
yeah.
because it's dumb, this shit, man.
Yeah, the last question on Andrew, because we don't want to. I mean, like I said, you must be overwhelmed with all these kind of questions. Is he just the last thing for me to just know on a personal level? Is he in good spirits? You seem to always be in good spirits.
Yeah,
Like,
they're monsters.
that's what we
Alhamdulillah,
like.
yeah. They are proper strong. And look, now obviously also with the conversion lately and stuff, helped a lot is strict. He's always strict and disciplined. I mean, you saw him doing that, yeah. So he does these 100 times.
Mm.
If he sits there for an hour, he will do it probably 5-6 times,
Yes.
work a bit, pump 100. Then the same, if he works in the office, he'll go to he has like a little gym there, bench 80 kilos, 100 times,
Training
or
all the
60
time.
kilos, whatever, pack their clutch. It's just non-stop, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, he's a workhorse. He works non-stop, and you can't touch that,
Yeah. I mean, he's probably learned that from you with all your old school classes that you put him through as a teenager.
Yeah, he said, shit, Amir, remember this? I said, I don't remember ever doing something like that.
Does he ever
As we
say,
coach.
yeah, does he ever say, Amir, I'm too rich now, leave me alone. Leave me alone with
Then
these
I played the how you call it, the old coach role, well, I can't remember. It was so long, so many students. Yeah, you do remember.
So like the other thing I asked you as well when I was showing you the weekend, I said to you that you said that you have around 80 fighters, which is just crazy to me because I have no
Yeah,
idea how
with the
you
kids.
even keep it true.
Yeah, with the kids, some come and go a little bit. Have some time off, injuries, whatever, family commitments. Like as you know, I parted with my old place, and basically, long story short, and then I teach now in the St. Peter's Church Hall, or just off Dallow Road, Harefield Road, and when I moved there, all of a sudden Emma goes, "Oh, I'd really like to try to fight," and I'm like, "Okay, great," and then just like dominoes,
Everybody
and I
wants
think at one stage we had about, I think it was like 72 people, and 68 of them want to fight. I'm like, bloody hell, how did this happen? So we started going into clubs, as you see, and go here, go there, and it was higher. And it was really funny because they all, it's cute, that they all got that confidence. And I don't like forcing anyone. I'm a very good salesperson in that respect, but because look, I tell you what I see, but if you don't believe it, and many of the fighters, I think it's a big issue nowadays, they don't believe what you even tell them. Look, I'm the professional. Okay, why do you go to the mechanic? He tells you your clutch and this is broken. We have to repair it. This is how much you pay. You just do it. Yet your coach tells you, man, your fitness is great. You this, and you go, oh, I don't know. I really don't get it. It's a totally different, and I think it's this whole TikTok generation.
I mean, if
Quick,
Amir
quick, quick,
tells
quick.
you,
Like,
yeah, if Amir tells you your fitness is great, your fitness must be great because I'm pretty sure you're very strict with that. You wouldn't
yeah,
say,
like I don't know. Then they go, oh yeah, but my left leg is slow. I'm like, and they like as I said, TikTok, picture. Topic you can't talk about. Let's say fitness. Let's talk fitness. We all have different ideas. I don't like all this modern crap. They're breaking it down so much. It's so complicated. I really, you jump over. You're telling me 100 squats with is better than 1,000. Impossible. I don't give a shit what you use. No way. Take 100 quid or take 1,000 pounds. That's how I look at it. I'm old school there. Of course, you can make it more difficult, add some weights to it so it has the same whatever. But no, when people tell me that these, let's say, plyo box jump squats are better than, okay, do 100 of those and do 1,000 of these. Let's see how your body's going to react. Let's just do it. No problem.
you're
And
more of
the
a
proof is,
numbers type of guy when it comes to coaching.
yeah, well, numbers are infinite, and numbers are if you think about mathematics, it rules the world, isn't it? Digits, zeros and ones. Yeah. So from a scientific way, everything zeros and ones. So what are you talking about? Everything is energy. Everything. If you break us down to the atoms, subatoms, whatever, to the little nucleus, that's it. That's who we are. So if you come in miserable, I'm very much an energy person. I fucking hate it. Don't fucking come my gym. Fuck off. What, you think you had a bad day? I could have said today, sorry, today's anniversary of my dad. Can't talk today. Obviously, still have to call back home family and stuff. My father was killed in the house, so how should I feel? But, sometimes we have to do the stuff we don't want to do, isn't it?
Of course,
Famous quote.
that's the only way to progress. And it's really refreshing for me to hear that, because obviously you're doing so well. There's the proof is in the pudding. You've had world champions. You continue to produce great fighters from juniors all the way to professional adults. So it's refreshing for me to hear that you are still old school. You still believe in the methods that kind of like brought you up, and you're still applying those, and it's still clear that it's working.
Yeah,
Is
of
there
course. Look, the strong style, as I call it, it's a mixture. Yeah, I don't have a clean beginner lineup. Let's say One, obviously, they have to go through the bit of basics, then mix them up. People pick up, especially children.
Yes. Do you have
You
any?
saw,
Sorry, Amir.
pardon?
Any sort of time scale that you give to your people from say if someone just walks into the gym and they're doing really well and they're picking up the techniques fast, do you let them train for about a month, a year before you start competing, or as soon as
Not
they're ready?
really. I don't believe in time scales because time is running out fast. Yeah. So it's all about quick speed. Yeah. If you want to do something, do it. If you now come to me, let's say you, and you train and you do everything I say 100, you do 1,000. So in 10 days, you'll be with the person on day one. So you'll be day 10 on day one. And then on day 100, you're already on day 1,000. So it's how much you put in. It's all bullshit, all that like, oh, and so next month I plan to increase my runs. Why? Next month? Really? Fucking how do you know you're going to be alive next month? How do you know whatever? We never know. And speed. And obviously, as ex-military and special forces, you hit them hard, you hit them fast, and you're out of there. No one knows what happened. It's that style of, and I mix them up. So, and quite often I get the fighters to train with the beginners or put them in front so they can watch. I don't take a child and not here, not there. I don't believe in styles either. I don't really care. You see, all my guys look different. I train people. Let him find his own style. I like it. It's called. I call it like freedom of expression of your inner you. Your you really. Because when I call it shit hits the fan, back to basics.
Exactly. Well, that's one thing I tell my guys all the time. I'm not here to say this is the right way to do it. What I'm here to do is provide the environment for you to express yourself, because ultimately martial arts is an art and art is an expression. So it's a poetry emotion. So if I come to you and say the kick that you're throwing this way is clearly working for you and you're doing well with it, but my philosophy is that shouldn't be you can't come and change that, because you change the whole person's style. And what that happens is you make them uncomfortable. And when fighters are uncomfortable, they can't perform. They should be comfortable. They should be free.
Yeah. Look, also they need to learn very early. That's why I put mine just in. Losses, wins, draws, ass whooping, like getting dropped, shit, all that. Yeah, man, learn, but also that's why in training it's hard. We go literally full on to the body. I always say watch the head, but also keep your arms up and protect yourself at all times.
Yeah, and
don't have knockouts as such, but we do have sometimes, run on a nice left hook.
Yeah.
I got some
one of your fighters that I watched on the weekend. She was co-main eventing on World to Muay Thai Grand Prix, and she was
awesome.
Yeah. Who without being biased, I was gonna say without being biased and without putting you on the spot, is there any of your fighters right now that you think will definitely be a world champion if they continue the way they are?
Well, as I said earlier, all of them that put their hard work in. I mean, some of the kids, I think, since we're in this place, so September this year will be 2 years in a sports hall. So, sorry, in a church hall, no bags, no ring. We only have the Thai pads and the boxing pads and the mats. That's it. That's all we have. With the kids together, I think they won over 20 of the world titles on opens and on shows. So there we go. If a kid can do it, why can't you as an adult?
Yeah, of course. That sounds.
She's fighting a Dutch girl on Super Fight Series. I got the Dutch team coming over, I think 4-5. So she wins this one. Then hopefully November will be her first title, and then start building up. Also, obviously, she's Pakistani, so it's very difficult as well with the cultural stuff and family and parents. But I appreciate her dad and family being there supporting, and her brother always always there for her and then allowing her to train. And she trains in the morning, she trains sometimes in the afternoon and in the evening, and you can tell. And there's still loads to work on because sometimes some fighters they don't get it till they get it. Yeah. So as I say, so again, whatever you tell them, do it like this, do it like this is faster. For some reason, they still don't keep on tweaking their own way. So it's that minor change that, like a tower of cards, you take the right card out, it all collapses. So sometimes you just keep on poking. That's how I look at it, like that in a way. And then all of a sudden, it's all there, you know, how I see them. And I do think, you know, she improved a lot of boxing. Her weakest point really is the flexibility, you know. But then sometimes it's genetics, it's hip motion in general. You know, some people are just not flexible. I said she can kick high, but it's not like aesthetically, let's say, or like how it should be. But then again, if it lands and it hurts someone, who am I to judge, right?
And that'll come with
As I
time.
said.
That'll come with time as well and training. So one thing I wanted to ask you, Amir, because I think we kind of touched on it a little bit, so I could actually guess what your answer would be for this, but I'd rather just let you answer. What is your favorite thing about being a kickboxing coach?
I think for me personally, it's like the excitement. Yeah, everyone knows I sweat. It shows more than the fighter. I'm in there, like in my head. Oh, in my head, I'm like doing everything. It'd be like, I mean, screw any of these modern movies where they have like, I can't explain you. And then like obviously, we had one of mishaps where one of the guys was knocked down heavily and then taken hospitals, had brain surgery, everything. Imanol, my Spanish Storm, I'm still in touch with him and stuff. I'm going to award him now the honorary Super Fight Series world title because he would have won it anyway down the line. I'm talking to him all the time in the beginning. So that's the other side again, just taking off a bit. But it's that adrenaline, which I get excited for them. And sometimes when they don't match my energy, but I learned now for me, myself, not to, because they can't match my energy. It's impossible.
Energy still.
I'm like light speed. They're just starting the fire engine or something. And yeah, you know, the whole lot, watching them, how they behave, analyzing. It's like we're going to battle. So I have the map, I have the plan, and then obviously you don't know how individuals will react. And you know, like when I trained normal soldiers to become commandos and stuff, it's you got guys that are perfect everything, and then they crack under pressure.
I mean, that must be
Yeah.
great experience. Obviously, it's obviously great experience to take with you to the fight game because ultimately it's all out of war, isn't it? And you're a master of out of war because you've been through it. The other thing I wanted to ask you as well, because this is just interesting for me as a coach, because obviously my gym is growing and growing, so I'm starting to get more people that want to come and fight. You know, obviously you get that all the time. People coming in, they want to be the fighters, they come from and they go. With the amount of people that you have and the amount of fights that you have, you must have some sort of structure in place to avoid any sort of conflict that happens between your fighters, because with so many people in one room, there are bound to be some egos in there. How do you deal with conflict if there is any conflict?
Well, for us, it's more it's a military institution in a way, you know?
Yes.
Everyone knows the place. If you don't know your place, you get sent back into your place or you just get removed. So I take no shit from no one. Parents don't like it, no problem. Take your child somewhere else, wherever they're going to tell you whatever you want to hear, and it's not true. And then later you come back again to me because I was right. So it's fine. But with the fighters, I don't kind of allow it. I'm trying to push they all have to run before class. Saturdays we do a huge they do a huge run before class, then 2 hour class, and then they do sprints after. So, and they all have to go together and push each other and everything. And if necessary, someone's injured, carry him. Yeah. So I make it in that. Obviously, you know, got also little Tyler and Freddie Fisher come down, so it's good for the kids.
Yes.
And they're quite disciplined, I like to say. And look, I always go about the Storm family, and it's for life. It's not for. We got everything there, directors to whatever, you know, all different walks of life. So we need a plumber, we need something. So we keep it kind of like in a family. I very early realized I can't change the world, but I can change the environment around me and me. And so that's how we grew a little bit. And yeah, it's all good, you know. But sometimes it is scrapples, you know. Look, you hit me hard, I hit you back. Oh, you hit me first. So I said, it's okay, guys, sort it out. No problem. Let's go. Let them get out of the system.
A bit of friendly competition is fine, isn't it?
Pardon?
Said a bit of friendly competition is fine, isn't it? They could compete with each other.
I like it to be a brutal competition because in the end, if this was the jungle and or the whatever the Kalahari, and if you're not the main lion pride, what are you? Food. So They need to, if they want to be the best, and they all have their own little places, to be honest. Like we have, young George, for example, very tricky, flicky, hits from different angles. I got Max Fogg, very karate, hits hard, kicks hard, but and everyone goes, oh, it's too hard. Then I have little Adil, for example, my little Bengali mini tiger. He's literally like Mike Zambidis. He's coming
Okay.
for you, good angles, hands. Yeah, beautiful. Like obviously loads of them. It's just like they all have obviously with Fazana as well, and
They'll
then
bring
I
the
go with Darren. Obviously Aiden. Roma, Fiam, little twins, everyone, Rico, Reyes. It's all you. You got 8-year-old kid. He kicks you. You feel it more than when a 20-year-old kicks you.
yes.
So, but like so, everyone has their own little role,
Yeah.
and as long as they're not too mean to each other, I don't like that. Like don't be or little cliques or groups. No, they're all actually really good. I mean, one of my and going back, the structure is also very important. I have great instructors, great help. Yeah, obviously, firstly with my business partner Lucy Smith. No
Yeah.
one knows. She runs all the shit no one sees and stuff. And to be honest, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even bloody do it. I'm like, it's no point. When you have to spend every day so much to do crap,
Yeah.
like necessary. Just like then, obviously, from the ladies, we got Shaz and Masuma. They do our kids Saturday class and Monday evening class. Then I got Matt Anderton, who now after 12 years, finally, he got cancer is disappearing. So I remember first time when we heard about him having cancer, he was 120 odd kilos and, steroids and all this shit. So now, man, you need to make it stronger. So we trained every morning. I got him down to 77 his old fight weight.
You're back to being strong, back to being fit.
Yeah. Then obviously Aiden Patsalidis, Aiden with
Yes.
the twins and Roma and Thea, obviously Ayla and Luca. His brother Alexei. I even like to mention old Andy. He comes down and he's my oldest student, 50 something, 58 I think, or 4. Sorry, Andy. And he helps out and pushes some of the kids on the pad and all of us really. I got like cousin as well. He comes out, helps with the kids and fights and Taz is a
You
good
have any
fighter
sort
as
of
well.
like meetings with all your coaches, like every now and then that you meet and or everybody just
No,
knows
because
you?
like for example, obviously permanently it's always loose in media. So we come in, we lay the mats out, then the classes start. So I do nearly all of the classes. Then sometimes when they're there, they just do the classes. I'm there around as well, or I take the fighters aside. Mondays is obviously I'm just there. Um, Lucy leaves early. She has a PT then Monday night. And then Shaz and Asuma do the class and I just sit there, always see, take the Mickey out of everyone. And I say he cheated or so-and-so cheated, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Make the beautiful videos you see.
Yes.
Tuesdays, sometimes Matt comes, so Aiden, but Aiden was in the fight camp, so it was a bit more focusing on fighting. Yeah, that's about it, really. You've been mixed, and then when we're all there, we just, as we say, kill him, it's like, even now I'm away, Matt is pushing Tyler. Like today, they're doing a 10-mile run. Sorry, on Sunday, 10-mile run. All of them, kids and adults, and all the fighters.
So is
Yeah, it's
Tyler
just
now?
nice to.
Is he in Luton now full time, or does he come during fight camps?
No, he's there for 2 weeks. He's staying with Matt. Yeah, he's
Excellent.
enjoying it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Peter, we're taking him away from you.
I mean, he must be super grateful for you, and I'm sure he is. One thing I wanted to ask you.
Look, he's an amazing kid. I can't, not just because he does fights for me, but regardless, even before we always looked after him. He's a good kid, and everyone knows him. They fought everyone anywhere, all the time, and he now got into his niche. We spoke probably properly maybe half a yearish ago. So for some of the training stuff, what I want him to do, and he's proper, and he gets up every morning, 4 o'clock, he runs.
I saw a video this morning. He was running 5 in the morning.
Yeah. So he's that's it. He wants to make it, and another main thing for me really, they come from some Orthodox Irish Catholics or something, yeah. So he's very much religious, respects it. You know, he's nice. You don't hear nothing bad, no bad mouthing to his dad. He works in the gym with him all the time, you know, an outcast. And he's a 14-year-old, yeah. He just turned 14 as well recently. But look, 100 plus fights, so down to earth, so nice, very helpful. It's amazing, you know. How can you not help a human being like that? And
I mean, that's the
anything in my power,
Yeah, the
anything in
first
my
time his
power,
dad
I
brought
do.
him to my gym, I was exactly the same as how you felt. He said he wants to do a bit of work, did a bit of work with him, and then after I said to his dad, "Listen, anytime you want any extra work, the gym is open for you." Because I met the kid, and he's just such a nice, sweet, like
Yeah,
humble, good kid. Like you, it's
and
just
hard
hard to
working,
meet
you
Tyler
know,
and not like him.
and hard working. He just keeps on going and going and going and going. And you know, like when you have something like that at that age, what's going to stop him?
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. He's destined to be successful. One thing I wanted to ask you, Amir, you said when you started training and you started like coaching those many years ago, like in the 90s, did you ever imagine being this successful?
um, I actually generally am very competitive. I was talking to her last night with Tate. I was doing pets. We had a little break, and I said, "Let's say you lose. I don't understand how people go back to sleep. I'm angry. My fighter lost. Yeah, more than they are.
Yeah.
I hate it. So I
Mm.
was always competitive. I obviously had great coaches, always. You know, my all of them really. And what I learned from them is just be a good person. And they're all very passionate and knowledgeable. And yeah, I don't like being look. I was the youngest intelligence officer in the Bosnian army, so at the highest rank possible for someone with my age. I worked on a very high position, and yeah, I'm very. What's the English word for it? Well, I'm very competitive, but also very. I like to achieve very high,
Mm.
and I
Ambitious.
just work as well. Sometimes it doesn't stop me because, let's say, I don't know, we didn't get in here. Just keep on going, you know, keep on going.
Mm.
And we got a lot of people up to great levels. And I mean, you know, there are a lot of great fighters, you know,
Yes.
even with like Big Polski and including obviously Tristan and Emmanuel and Yanis and Nicola now who does professional boxing and from the old days and one Matt, Adam Matt and so many. Dale Hardiman in MMA and Arunas Andrushkavicius in MMA. He moved from us because he started studying in London. I mean, I trained him like Tate from the age of 16. He was proper little geek. Sorry, Arunas. And we only teased him. He was okay. And I made him literally into like a Hercules, like proper buffed up, no talking, hard working. And then he went to London Shoot and then won with them. I mean, I still cornered him 6 out of 9 times, I think.
Mhm.
And then he won the MFC world title. But with me, he won the kickboxing world title and British Muay Thai title. And yeah, and the oldest as well. We fought everything: low kick, full contact, K1 Thai, whatever there was. It
Yeah.
just some MMA. Sometimes there was more fights in one style, then we just focus on that. And that's how always the training was adapted. Not as soon as everything started. Oh, I need the. And no disrespect to anyone. I need the grappling coach. I need the BJJ coach. I need the strength and conditioning coach. I need the weightlifting or like something coach. I need a coach, boxing coach. Goodbye.
You
It's
keep it
not for me.
in house.
It's too much. I stopped teaching MMA and doing MMA. I got ringworms on Impetigo for some dirty asshole, whoever it was.
Mm.
9 months, bro. It was the worst time of my life. And I don't like anything sticky and
Mm.
like I'm very paranoid with that.
Yeah.
Since then, ruined my life, literally. I worked in a city then, you know, suited and booted and have all like a rush and they flake and wherever they fall, they form new ones. And I generally don't like cream on me. Like
Right.
I just don't find it sticky and well.
Just wasn't.
Anyway, and that was bored. And I thought, nah, man, I'm not training you. You come every time you stink, man. Wash your bloody top. No,
Yeah.
but you know, how many times can you tell you use a deodorant? I used to actually buy deodorants to have everyone to. That's not my job.
Crazy. Yeah.
And yeah, oh, don't get me wrong. Some people smell, yeah, fine, but it's too much, you know.
Mm. The one thing, the
But
one
it's
thing
all good, you know.
The one thing that really intrigues me about you is that you always, with everything that else that you have going on in your life, and obviously like training people like Tate and Tristan that they're high profile now, you seem to always have time for people, and that's one thing that I really admire about you. And I think for me, at some point, I will definitely bring down Uzi and Abu Bakr and a couple of my fires to come and do a session with you on a Saturday, because I heard about those Saturday sessions.
Also, I think when we come up to see Tyler or Peter, you can come by as well. And yeah, I am a people's person. I'm a bit very old fashioned there. Like if you and I always met up on a Friday for coffee, let's say, it's not changing
Yes.
unless I'm not in the country. And that's how I look at it. And even if we don't speak for 5 years, we continue where we stop. So a lot of my old students are all over the world now. I got loads of kids named after me. I mean, Tristan named his newborn daughter. He still didn't see, by the way, bastards, and after me, Amir. So, like, what can I say? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm blessed. Alhamdulillah. Thanks God for everything. I was shot, could have died, saw death. Every morning I wake up, I'm very happy, very grateful. And then anyone I can help, always, it doesn't really matter. I mean, all the promoters, they know how much I do behind the scenes. And for every show, there's next to no show I share, because I run the British Kickboxing, the UK K1 independent rankings page and group, and the UK Muay Thai K1 shows, and that one as well. And whatever, there's sometimes, I don't see everything. And you know how the algorithms work. If I shared a few times more for MTGP, because Darren is fighting, you see more of that than, I don't know, let's say Hamdi Karim's show, for example, or something like that. So, but even with him, he sent me a list, so I'm going to help out as much as I can. Hopefully, maybe match someone. And it's a bit, always everyone goes, oh, the date's clashing, but it's not like we do 4 shows a year. We get the 4 dates we get. We maybe have 1 or 2 leeway, and that's it. And everyone has to do the best what suits them.
Yes.
Why should I or you or any other promoter change a date because there's another promotion? Unless they're really close and one is much bigger and taking all your fighters. We have enough fighters to run shows. Hopefully, actually now when I come back, we have super fight series in Hungary. Hopefully, touch wood, when I go back to England, I'm going to talk to Paul. There's an opportunity to have super fight series in Egypt, as it looks like. Nice. When because Andrew also offered me to be with him and stuff, and sort me out for stuff with the gym in Dubai. And obviously, if I have Storm Gym Dubai, I'm definitely going to have super fight series Dubai. So Paul and I are going to try to do something possible. And yeah, then we have meeting someone with Hong Kong, one of Paul's friends. So some collaboration feeding into. And I generally always, look, Mo Abdurrahman fought on our first show. He got knocked out. And after that, I helped him many fights in China, and he also fought in Japan. That wasn't through me, but it was Ice K line. But I matched him in China quite a few times and always looked after him, and whatever. Even now, try to match him, and we just try to do what we can do. Yeah, and my life would have changed. No one knows, but Tate was supposed to box Mayweather February 26th. It was him originally.
Oh, so I was about that.
Yeah, and I was with a huge suitcase full of, body shields, toys, as I call them, torture toys, ready to go to Dubai for the training camp, and for 2 months and something. And yeah, would have been a huge payday for everyone.
I always say
that it would be.
Everything happens for a reason. It's what we call in Arabic qismat. If it's not qismat, it's not going to happen. My
friend, I remember the very first time I put my head down after shooting, and the bullet hit where my head was. And I remember just like this,
Save my life.
Who knows? Yeah, man. It's like the amount of times you take your clothes off, there's more holes than a Swiss cheese. And you can't be then grateful to God, everything. I'm quite like to think, I like science and stuff, and especially mathematics. You can calculate everything, but some stuff you just can't calculate. It doesn't make sense,
Yes.
So there's only one answer. And I always was a firm believer. My mom obviously always pushed me to, be a good person, mainly, really. But also, got this, how it goes back home always. Allah, Allah, Allah. Don't steal. Don't do this. And look, I am who I am as well, thanks to a lot of people that helped me publicly and non-publicly, and they all know who they are, and it's a huge. I feed off that energy. That makes sense, you know.
And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this with you, Amir, because obviously we know who Amir is, like the people that's been in the game for so long. But obviously, I have some young fires coming up now, and you wanted to your legacy to be about people knowing exactly like who Amir was, and it's not so much about it's obviously winning the world titles because you're a competitor and you want to always be successful. That's always nice because you're changing people. But mainly the main point of doing all this for me is to change people's lives, and it seems the same thing seems to be apparent in your methodology and your approach into martial arts, which is amazing for me to hear.
You probably got it as well. That's it. You sometimes probably got it as well. You only get a nice message from someone of appreciation.
Mm.
Wow, you go like, you know, that's when our emotions show. Luckily, there's no one around. I was like, oh, you know, mommy, I want my mommy now to hug me. It's
Yeah.
just nice when someone appreciate and respect you, and when you get a nice message from one of the fighters or whoever, it's just really really nice to have your work appreciated. You know, we're
But
always happy, we're always positive, we're always going, we're always pushing, but it's still nice to get a little bit of that. Because look, coaches need it, as I told you. You know, like I also like Billy Brown from East Anglia, Kickboxing Academy, like a new school, and you know they're really good fighters, same like yours. And there's a lot of new gyms, you know, and but that's what it is when you put in the hard work and the love, the passion, you know.
yeah,
And
me
but
personally,
I also think to stay loyal and respectful and honorable. If you come from another gym, don't talk shit about your coach.
no.
It doesn't really matter. It will not change anything because when
Mm.
you think about it, you know, if you do that about them now, you might do the same about me in a month or two or three.
Of course.
And I like everyone also to earn everything,
Mm.
like especially like with pad work. Remember, it took me 6 years in my boxing coach to get on the pads. Then you go in the ring, it was four of them, and they call it crazy time.
Mm.
And you go and go and go and go. This huge bucket for puking, just go, and you never think. You think it will never like stop.
Mm.
You mean you always think I didn't do enough. You keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, and they break you. Proper old school Balkan East European mentality.
Yes.
Then you finish, you go in a sauna, there's a huge tire. There's a huge tire, you do 100 with the metal bar, 10 kilos, then the other way. But they only count the hard ones, everything you give, and they know, you
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of good people out there. And like that's what I always loved. So when I went to military, for me, it was like, yeah, no problem. I was so excited. I get excited about it, training. So when I go there, and that's why, like, let's say you come with a miserable face, fuck off, don't come.
Yeah.
I'd
And
rather, you know, don't bring that crap. It's because negative energy is kind of sticky energy, isn't it?
of
It's
course,
like it lingers there. Like, I
yeah.
really don't like it. So I don't want to look at you in a bad light and go, this guy's an asshole.
Yes.
Why is he fucking miserable all the time? All the time he's miserable. Every fucking time he comes.
Yeah.
Leave
And
your shit outside the door, isn't it? Then
you
let's
feed off
train.
that energy to other people as well. And I mean, for me personally, I mean, it's really nice to be in contact with somebody with so much experience and so much that you've been around the game
Yeah.
for so long. And for me, it's almost like speaking to you it's almost like a learning process for me, like I said. So it's nice to have someone in the game who people look up to as like a mentor, and you put in people in the right places, and you always make yourself
He's
available.
doing a great job. You can tell the proof is in the pudding. You can talk and say, look, you and I can put videos up of us, everything. Oh, wow, look at me, you know, some plyo shit, something latest, and look good and get the following. Clicks mean nothing. How much money do you make from any video, any click? Nothing. Our money is literally on the hard work we put into our people.
Mm.
And of course, it's a bit because I have a lot of fighters. I also have a lot of people that just train. So you have to make it, um, like, what's it called? You have to make it right, a right mixture, because you also need to pay attention to the other people, not just train the fighters. You know,
Mm.
I've been there, you know, like where people like, oh, all you do is train, let's say, the fighters, not us. And then you train them, then they can't hack it. You know, then you go, why am I training them? Because someone else can train them. Not in a bad way, but then let's, you know, and then like they don't get it, that what it takes to, or they want to do the same. Then when you push them, they don't come. They don't stop injured.
Like they
I
can't
mean,
keep.
I don't understand. You know, I got shot through my hip into my spine. Do you ever see me? Like, I had a same a bullet in my leg, knife in my leg, shrapnel under through my knee, and like, and all these guys, thanks God, tiny shrapnel, but sometimes I feel it, but you don't. My toes, I don't. My feet, I fucking, my arm are broken. So many things. Yeah, you don't see, and I also find that sometimes it's like it's a bit of cultural as well. Some stuff. You know, back home we don't have like PTSD and all that. War never stopped really for me. It's just a different form. And I don't think for any man war should stop in a certain way. They should all aspire to be warriors, kings and rulers and warriors, basically on every, well, let's say realm, in any what's called dimension, wherever, you know, not in one dimension you are, I don't know, let's say Hulk, in another one you are nothing, like Peter Parker. Huh? You know what I mean? Something like that. Like, no, I'm a warrior in every single one of them. And they also need to, it's hard. When my father was killed, I was 21. Like today, 1992, so 2023, so 30 years, 31 years ago. And that's it. If I didn't carry the food to my family, they had nothing to eat. It was bombing everywhere. So, and today it's very easy with too many things. You know, let's say you have 5 children, they all want everything. None of them ask, Dad, can you, or Mom, can you afford to buy me this, please? I would really appreciate it. Not now, son, daughter, next month, fine. Not, you know, but, you know, and it's very materialistic. So,
I mean,
and I always tell everyone,
from the outside, it seems like, because obviously I'm from Iraq. My mom is Kurdish, my dad is Arab, and I was born in 91, and that's when the war was going on
how did
between.
that happen?
Can you believe it,
I'd
right?
like to hear that story.
Enemies. But
No, I know it's like same like back home, but again, you know, Bosnia is very mixed, so we have a lot of uh, the marriages and stuff, and it's not like an uncommon thing, yeah. But
yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
Iraq and stuff.
my dad's dad is Kurdish, so technically I'm quarter Arab. So that she's
Okay,
not
okay, okay.
not full Arab. That's why it happened.
Yeah,
So I like from the
love
outside.
has no boundaries, brother.
Yeah, from the outside, it seems like people when they look at like our stories, because obviously I've not physically been in a war, but I've seen my dad go through wars. I've been going from one city to another city whilst bombs were dropping and all that stuff as a child. And I moved to England when I was
Yeah,
13, so I've been through it. And from the outside, when people look at us, they seem like it's almost like I never want people to look at my story and feel sorry for me, because I feel like there's things that we've been through shapes the man that we are today. And I feel like I'm almost grateful for going through everything I went through, because now I feel like I've seen what it feels like to be at the bottom, and I've seen what it feels like to be grateful for everything that I've got, because I know
yeah.
what it's like not to have anything. And a lot of people go
Well, if
through.
you were going from town and city to city, house to house whilst bombing, you know, I mean, I slept in burnt buildings to no buildings to clean air in a ice pack, literally in snow. Yeah, I mean,
Now you're grateful for everything, because it seems you've been through the worst. Everything seems to be kosher. Everything is
yeah,
nice.
we have food, no problem.
Yeah,
It's okay.
we do
I
that.
don't like one thing. I don't like being hungry. There's so many times I was hungry, and there's so many stories. I literally there's being shot at, you couldn't even move.
Mm.
62 kilos, rag of bone, all the teeth moving, bleeding, hair going, literally, like it was so bad. Rice for 6 months in solid or liquid form, barely any salt.
Yes.
And yeah, going back to you when you were a kid, my little brother was 3.5. And even now he's 30, he's going to be 35. Got the beautiful little Amina. And he always has a light on in his room. He doesn't sleep in the dark. And he used to whisper for about 3-4 years after. He did not. And come night, you could not unstick him of you. So, you know, it's a very traumatic time, and everyone deals with it different. It has an effect later. It either makes you, breaks you, or if it's neither, you have to learn to live with it.
Both.
And I for example, my second brother, he was killed, but my third brother, he was only 16 and he was in 2 concentration camps, you know. So he looked people for Kurban Eid, you know, every second person stepping out. And then, if I can say so, luckily he wasn't. And they cut the throats of every second person. So whilst he's standing there, and then the next day the same, every second out. And then he was never luckily the second. And once he was an old man, he moved himself instead.
Wow.
You know, and, yeah,
It
but
was
that's what men are supposed to do, isn't it? You can't have your child die, you die. It's a bit like that antelope that swam in front of the crocodile so that she gets eaten and not her baby.
yes.
It's created by the crocodile. So, yeah, so everyone looks at it different. I had kids train with me that lost the whole family. It's only him and his sister. Pardon me. Or that just them two brothers or everyone else dead.
I mean, you provide
So
a home.
we should be more grateful for everything we have. I also always tell my one reason why I started with the super fight series, the push the kid side more. One, way easier to work with. Two, they come to fight. Some of them technically way better than many adults, really, put to shame. Some as well, few of them sell way more tickets than nearly many pro fighters. And, you know, in the end, it is a business. I mean, how the heck can you walk out? There's no one there. You literally kill the whole atmosphere in a place. Yeah, you just shut the show down, literally like from the oldest bus, there's all singing the three car, hundreds of people to no one saying nothing. It's like, so you have to kind of like, you didn't do no promotion, even if you didn't sell tickets, but you didn't share your poster. So your mother doesn't even know you're fighting. How the heck? Or you telling me your mother and your father don't want to come watch you? There's something wrong with you then.
And that's one thing I
Anyway,
make on my fight.
yeah, I don't
my
want to
fight
say.
promote all the time. They have to promote. Any fight they have is
Yeah,
their job.
yeah, so I don't want to take it off topic because that was for the kids. So we started this kid thing and we're huge now with regards to kids and juniors. I go some gyms exclusively because it's a great everything. Though the night before the weigh-in, you've been there, the face off, the photo shoot, they stay in a hotel. And the main thing for me is because I didn't have so many memories with my dad and stuff like that. So and I tell all the parents, there's no money in the world you can give your child besides this beautiful memory tonight. You all have a picture. You're so proud. The parents sometimes get in a ring, or the night before they all make a nice photo shoot. We pay the photographers to come the night before, pay hotel, everything. So how amazing is that? And that's what it's all about, memories, you know? And the kids don't forget. You need to train them young. That's one thing where the Dutch don't mess around. The pictures we get from the fighters from Holland are professional photo shoots. All of them.
Even when they're young.
Yeah, because they all go to big gala and fusion, started using some kits. So, and I like to think that we have a little good niche now that others are also like now trying to incorporate more. And I'm okay with it, everyone, as long as you use your own kids. We make them at the stake them, eh? Bloody hell. No, but it's okay. Look, I like that. It's also, you can't just have someone fight just on your shoulders. It's good they go a bit away, come back.
You have to make the
We're
name.
building little superstars. Again, the new world title is huge. New plates, new everything. It's going to look so good, fluffy on the back. And I'm making a special case for it because it doesn't fit in the old ones. That's how big it is. Yes. So now we have two of them being fought by Tyler and Freddy, actually, against two Hungarians this time. Then we got little kids coming up like Jody Jonas, Iceman. I mean all our kids really, and everyone, Blue and Josiah, and I mean so many even from the other ones, other gyms. We got like obviously Team Malion.
I mean all the kids I've seen
some of those kids are so professional.
Yeah, they're all high level.
But they're so professional. Some of those kids. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Amir, just on it was really nice to talk about the war and stuff because I kind of like almost relate to that, not on that level that you've been through, obviously. I've related that, so it was really nice. But to make,
but it doesn't matter,
I know what it feels like, right? Yeah. And to go on a lighter note now, what I want to do with you, I want to do something called that I do with everybody that I do the podcast with is do something called a rapid fire question. You don't have to answer it, so don't think about the answers too much. But when you give the answer, it'll be nice for you to elaborate a
I can
little
say
bit.
no comment.
You can say no comment. It depends what I ask.
Quick, eh?
Yeah. Okay, so the first one I have is who is one celebrity that you see on TV and you want to punch in the face?
None. I don't really watch
You don't hate nobody.
TV. Not really. No. Also, obviously, Islamically, who are we to judge what God created? And in a way, I don't like that with a lot of brothers, sisters, let's say, talking badly. You can say your opinion in a way, like you and I talk about someone, but generally down the heart, God knows, no one.
Perfect answer. I love that. What about if you had to go to dinner with any celebrity or any fighter or anybody you admire, who would it be?
Top G, talisman when they're out, inshallah, somewhere nice. Yeah. They actually missed my birthday, so I said, look, guys, you know how it works. Surprise me.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna make up for that. I'm pretty certain.
And dinner, really, my biggest celebrity for me is my mother, you know, like, and my family, and they're number one. And if I can go anywhere, always with my mom, and I do miss her the most, really, out of all of this, that she's not with me and stuff. And because what people also don't know, you know, Bosnia is not in the European Union, and for them to get papers and different stuff, and it's just such a nightmare, as you probably know yourself. I don't think British people understand how difficult it is for some people to get papers,
yeah, and do you speak
visas and stuff.
day?
Every day, yeah. Already spoke to her this morning. My little niece is there, Amina. We got a huge family chat. Omar, the little one, he's not even a year old now. So yeah, all good.
Well, I have a
happy,
family.
happy family. I've got my sister still, Amira, Samir, Damir, and mommy, and obviously my brother's wife. That's it, really.
Well, I have a family chat, but I still call my mom every day, just personally, because sometimes.
Well, you know, also I was, you know, again, Islamically, what the mother means to, you know, to us as, don't want to sound too, like, if there's such a word as saying too religious. I think religion and belief is between you and God or Allah or whatever you call it. And as long as you obey by the and stick to the rules given, like 10 commandments, be good, don't steal, don't lie, don't cheat, don't kill, help your neighbor and all that, then everything will be fine, isn't it? And if everyone helped their families first, I hate seeing an old person on a till, dirty or smelly. Literally, you can tell no one takes care. They're counting the pennies. It's horrendous. Where the heck are the children or anyone? It makes me sad, really, to think that if that was my mother somewhere, man.
We say in Islam that heaven is underneath the feet of the
under mother's feet. Yeah.
Exactly. So you
it definitely is. But you know, as a kid, when you hit yourself, your mom just puts her hand there and it's done. Yeah. All good, eh?
Exactly.
Pain is gone.
Favorite athlete of all time? You can't say Andrew Tate. That's bias. You can't say Tristan.
Muhammad Ali.
Great, good answer. Very good answer.
Not just as an athlete, but as a human being, as a ambassador of many things, and in that time, especially when you look, there's many great athletes, yeah, but and I mean, you can mention thousands, really, everyone in their respective field. Yes. But like this guy, in the time he was who he was, and in the time he did what he did, and everything, considering being jailed too and all that, yeah, you can't. It's just fun. And also, from everyone knows him, you know, it's a bit like Bruce Lee, isn't it? You say Bruce Lee, Muhammad, probably them two in a, you know.
I mean, those would be my.
Yeah, but everyone knows them, isn't it? You say Bruce Lee or Muhammad Ali, everyone knows them. Tyson, everyone knows them.
Yeah. If you don't like Muhammad Ali, there's something wrong with you. That's what I say to people.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, favorite animal, if you have one.
It's a good one. Dragon.
Oh, I have a massive poster of dragon that my other half hates. is in my wall. It's huge. She hates.
You need to put a nice stick underneath. Tough luck.
Yeah, exactly.
I put the wings at the end so it's not too aggressive, you know.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, love you too.
What about favorite food?
Food, meat.
Any type of meat.
I'm a big meat eater. Obviously, no pork, but Yeah, I like a good meal and good company over anything. I nearly eat in this Turkish toprak in Luton all night, nearly every day. Maybe go to London, anything really. Lamb, beef, chicken breast, probably the last bit, but yeah, drumsticks, neck, the whole lot, everything, fish. Yeah,
Nice, nice. Okay, what
with
about
nice vegetables and stuff.
just to balance it out? What about your favorite place to visit?
Home,
Bosnia.
my mother's place.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay. Kicking or punching?
kicking. Well,
Favorite.
when you punch, what is it? About 900 kilos per square centimeter or something, and kicks are 3.5 tons.
Okay, that makes total
I
sense.
also think if you can kick properly and at the right time, it punches are better because all the knockout points are there. Yeah, the temple where the jaw connects the chin, behind the ear, the carotid artery, blah blah. Punch the plexus, punch the liver, you can drop them. Kick the plexus, kick the liver, kick the stomach, kick the groin. They're done. Yeah. So
What about favorite movie of all time, if you have one?
any war movie,
Any war movie?
anything with swords and anything. Yeah. Well, look, I love Platoon. You
Mm,
know,
classic.
obviously from the old school, Apocalypse. I mean, there's so many really to mention. I loved all the Lord of the Rings stuff. Obviously, so me.
They're my
I sometimes miss. Obviously, we all know Rocky, Rambo, bloody Conan. We grew up with proper men as role models. I remember doing so many chin ups, and actually my fingers cramped up. I couldn't even get up.
favorite.
So my neighbor had to cut off the tree branch to get me off, and then I come home. My mom starts hitting me with this. It's called Ocaglia. They roll the pies out, yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh, bro. And then me literally, I
Okay,
put my head down.
last one from me, Amir. Do you have a favorite sport outside of kickboxing?
Sport. I actually like all sports. Generally, whatever is good. Table tennis, very dynamic. Swimming, some running, even the way they do it. I like the tactical side of everything. Like you run, let's say 4 miles or whatever, 4K, and like why is it increasing then and not then?
Right.
And then in my head, I'll go off on a whole trip of scientific discovery, start reading stuff up, and that's how I'm always like. And then if it's like boxing, why did he wait 3 rounds to do this? Oh wow, look at this movement. And another thing is like I like to, like with martial arts, everyone goes, "Oh, this doesn't work in the ring."
Mm.
I'm like, "Shut up! It doesn't work because no one does it." You saw a guy run up the cage, turn around, kick the guy in the head. It doesn't work. Jumping, spinning around fast kick don't work. Yet people get knocked out all the time. So I don't believe in, hence again, this is superior, blah blah. Everything is good. For
Excellent.
hand-to-hand combat, it's totally different. You can say what you want about your. Someone goes for your eyes and starts biting your throat or your fingers off and goes for your groin and tries to literally kill you is different to. There's no like, oh, you do this, you do this, you do this. I learned that unfortunately. There's no.
Real violence.
Yeah, the main thing is really to be, and I always go back to military. What have all the militaries in common? They're all fit, strong, well trained, prepared, technical, and always available and capable to perform in any given weather condition, time, distance, you name it, any situation, they're ready.
Ready to go.
And I think as a martial artist, is a good way to look at everything.
Yeah, and
Your left hook maybe is, let's say, looks crap, but you're stopping everyone with it. Huh.
yeah.
Your hands are down. Everyone says, "Oh, you're going to get knocked out." Yet you knock everyone out.
I mean, that's
Oh, your left leg is too open, taking too many low kicks. Yet no one ever dropped you. So there's many, especially now. There's the keyboard warriors, and everyone knows everything.
and I think what you said earlier about being looking at all the numbers and being intrigued about about the running and the boxing and everything. I always say to people that truly martial artists deep down. We all bunch of nerds and geeks. We all nerds. We all
Well,
get intrigued by little details that we
look,
all.
there's nothing wrong with anyone being a nerd or geek. It is what it is, Like again, military, right? Someone has to work in a kitchen,
Of course,
but you think about it from the greater scale. Nothing else happens without the kitchen, so you can't say it's not important.
of
And the
course.
same, even the lowest guy, let's say that maybe peels the potatoes or the washes the cleaners, the whole it's as a whole infrastructure. And the same like the body, the hair. You take an eye out, see how you go.
Mm.
Take a leg off, see how you're gonna do. So you can't be sometimes like well, we were trained to go. He's a doctor, My friend's son, he's a doctor, and so what? Yeah, he's doctor of something. I'm doctor of everything. For example, but yours is bigger than mine. How's your education bigger than my education? And another thing as well, like sometimes when you say PT, £50, can you do any cheaper? No, you go to a physiotherapist, consultation for 15 minutes, 45 quid, boom, like this, £75 for an hour with an osteopath or something. You just paid. So what? They are worthy, I'm not? Nah, it's 150 now.
Yes.
Well, I don't
That's
want
a
to train
very
you
good
now.
way. That's a very good way to look at it because when I first started coaching, one of my other coach mates, Sam Spencer, is a very good MMA fighter. He said to me that don't cheapen the work that you do because you put years and years and years and years into it. And he gave me the same exact example. He said that when you go to a physio, just off the bat, you're paying £60 for like 30 minutes or
It's
30.
the story of that engineer, isn't it? That hit the boat in the huge in the right spot.
Yes.
250 for the hammer and for hitting the spot, and $14,750 for knowing where to hit. If you know what I mean, it's
Yes.
true, though, isn't it?
Yes.
And then also our sport is contact, and or like I'm the professional. I take my car to you as a mechanic, or you you're an electrician, plumber, engineer, builder, whatever. I'm not coming to you because maybe I know how to put two tiles together or some crap and pretend I'm on your level. So I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to pay you fairly and squarely what you need. Obviously, try to negotiate. Why not? I do give discount, and I don't do PTs unless they book 20 hours at least.
Okay.
Don't waste my time, because with one off here and there, what am I going to do? I'm not Merlin the magician. I always use this term. I can't go poof. There we go. Everything you ever need to know. And also I'm the coach. You do as I tell you. And there's no way we're doing pads. Like, forget this. But I got injured so many times with retards doing pads with me. I do this here. So, yeah, jab. And they literally jab me in my nose. No, but you think about it now. You get punched in your face and you think, well, wait a second, could have just broken my nose again. 4 times was enough, trust me. And like, I don't need this. Screw the money. I was working in sales, and I had money and fucking great, commission and everything, but that's not the piece of. And to actually wake up, me, Paul Pouchage, my best friend, we just go, oh, bro, let's go London. We go Harrods, buy lots of little things, go home to his Earl Grey from Harrods, actually really nice. Make some, eat. We get this little crayfish, something, sandwiches, prawn, tuna, whatever. There's so much stuff there. And chill. You can't do it on a Friday at 1 o'clock, or maybe go eat somewhere as well, and that's at night. Then talk super fight series and stuff, and drive somewhere, whatever. And then already the next show is done, 4 or 5 fights, blah blah blah. So always working, but in a relaxed environment,
Yes.
not sitting somewhere being told what to do and not appreciated. No, I left quite many jobs, and in few people said, look, you talk to me like that again, no problem. I'll wait for you after work. You tell that to me outside.
The peace of mind is
No
very
way.
important.
No.
Yeah.
You also have to be a man, make your own opinion up.
Yeah.
So no one should be forced into anything. Like, I like fighting. Now, am I preaching to everyone and globally have a huge agenda that everyone has to fight? Everyone has to go in a ring, in a cage. Everyone has to do combat. Everyone has to do this. No, it's not how things work, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I find it sometimes a bit off-putting, some of it all. So that's why I don't watch TV. Sometimes I plug it in. Sometimes I got Sky up on my phone.
Yes.
Just the news. It's so, my God, it's so boring. It's so boring. Climate change. This change. What climate change? Why do you all have houses then in private islands if you're going to get flooded? Shut up, man. Really? You have to sometimes, again, mathematics, you have to think very logical. What I say and what is. And then look at both logically, mathematically, realistically, and then make your own opinion up, yeah? And then go, yeah, no, whatever, like, but not, it's too much crap anyway.
Not just follow what you've been told like everybody else does. And I think a lot of people get caught up in that where they forget that they have their own brain and they could do their own research and look into things themselves. They don't always
Yeah.
need somebody to tell them what to do. Do you
But that's why we as coaches have a huge responsibility when people come to you, So
yeah.
that's why even if you don't know, but you're a really good person, yeah, and you try your best, people appreciate it more. Good people. If someone's an arsehole, he's going to be an arsehole anytime, whether you are. Look, I could fight for some fighters, pay them the salary, don't have to work, be at home, train for them as well. They still would be unhappy. So, or some people, like you can give them everything, they're not happy. But the way I look at it is when you're good first, your intentions are pure, no one can tell you that. For some reason, my 1 second, I had no clue on 5%.
It's all right. We've
Nearly
been
never
talking.
happens.
We've been talking for like an hour, 40 minutes, so I'm not going to waste too much of your time. I just want to, as a close off from me, I'd really do appreciate you doing this. I know obviously you're over there in Romania, you probably have a bunch of things to do. So I appreciate your time.
Cool. Thank you very much, bro.
Very
Take care.
welcome. Take it easy. Bye for now.